Welcome to another episode of Cooking with Triton. And today we're going to do one better. We're not making lasagna soup, although that was delicious. We're going to make an actual lasagna today. So we're going to take out our meat that we have. We have, well, they got mild Italian sausage. I usually use sweet sausage, but they bought mild, but anything will work depending on your flavor. Sweet, mild, hot, whatever your flavor is. And we also have some ground beef for some meatballs. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get a pan. And we're going to fill the pan with some water for our sausages. And this should come out pretty good. I've been told by multiple people that my lasagna is the best that they've tasted. So we're going to go ahead as the pan is filling in with water, because we don't want to overfill the water because then it's going to boil over. Put our sausages in. And I will show you those in a second. I'm just putting those into the pot here. And I think we do have a little too much water, which is why we do it in the sink, because then we can dump a little out. Move that out of the way for the water filter. I'm going to turn you back around. Alright, so we have our sausages in our pot on the stove. And we are going to turn this on medium-high heat, at least until it starts to boil. You could even do high until it starts to boil, and then we're going to want to turn it down a little bit while it cooks, because otherwise the water is going to simmer over. So what we're going to do now is set you back down. Move that out of the way. We are going to find a bowl, which I think I just found one. We're also going to turn on our preheat our oven to 350. Make sure nothing's in the oven. Very good. Now we need to find what they did with the eggs. Because we're also going to need some eggs. We also got to find out what they did with the breadcrumbs, because we're going to need breadcrumbs. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start by putting our hamburger in the bowl. We're also going to get our cookie sheet out of the oven. Now we're going to make a little hole in the hamburger like that, because we're going to pour some 4C flavored breadcrumbs in there. And we're going to put in probably about 3 eggs. One. Come on, break. I'm usually pretty good at this. There we go. 2. Get that shell out of there. And 3. Get that shell out of there. Try not to get too many shells in there. So we're going to go ahead and take our eggshells that we just broke all over the place, throw those out. Going to put our eggs to the side just in case we need another egg. Sometimes you have to adjust it on the fly. And I didn't realize how much meat that was, so I need a bigger bowl. So we are going to just take another bowl and try to flip this over like that, like so. And now we're going to mix the meat. You want to really get the egg and breadcrumbs mixed as much as possible. And you're just using enough of the breadcrumbs for seasoning and for texture. So there's really, I don't really measure it. So it's more of a taste thing. If any of you have ever made homemade meatballs before. Because you don't want it too dry, but you don't want it too wet either. So you got to play with your texture. And basically I keep mixing it until I get all the breadcrumbs, or most of the breadcrumbs no longer on the bottom of the bowl. So now we have our mixture. Now we're just going to make some meatballs. Make sure nobody's here because Chandler's barking. What are you barking at, buddy? There's nobody there, buddy. Nobody there, buddy. And you want a nice sized meatball. You don't want them too small. You don't want them too huge because then they take a lot longer to cook. You want them about this size because we're going to be slicing these up later. So that's about the size you want them. We're just going to put these on the cookie sheet. Our sausage is still cooking. So I'm going to go ahead and make the rest of these meatballs in speed mode. And that sandwich, that our oven is preheated now, and we are actually on our last meatball, which worked out really well. So those are our meatballs ready to go into the oven. Just like that. And we're gonna cook those usually for about, hold on, let me set you guys back down. So usually we're gonna cook those for about 45 minutes. You want to make sure the meatballs have no red or pink in it. So I usually do it for about 45 minutes. It's usually pretty good for me. You also want to keep an eye on your sausage, especially once it starts to boil, to turn it down so it doesn't boil over. And as your meatballs are cooking for that 45 minutes, that's about how long you cook your sausage for, so all your meat is done. We will be back when our meat is ready for the next steps. Alright, so our sausages are ready, as well as our meatballs. So we're going to go ahead and get ready to do the next steps there. So we're going to set you down, and then we're going to bring some stuff over. Down. Alright, so we're going to first start by cutting up the sausages. And basically we're just slicing up the sausages. Actually, what we're going to do is start our pot of water for our lasagna noodles first, while we're cutting those up. So we'll bring you guys with us as we're doing that. So I'm just filling up the pan with some water and a little bit of oil. We're going to fill this up almost all the way. This way, as we're cutting up our meat, the water can start to boil for the lasagna noodles. So that should be good there. We're going to set you guys down for a minute. And we turn that on high. Now we'll take it back over so we can finish cutting up our sausage. There you go. Okay, so that's the last of our sausages that are now cut up. We're gonna switch bowls here. And we're gonna get ready to do the same thing with the meatballs. Alright, so now we're gonna basically just slice up the meatballs the best we can. Meatballs are a little harder to do. All right, so our meatballs are now done. We're gonna also now have to cut up our cheese. While I get the cheese, I'm gonna check the water and see if we're starting to boil for the start the noodles. So our water is not boiling yet for the noodles, so we will work on our cheese while we're waiting. So with the cheese, I basically cut it in three sections, and then I'll slice it up again. So I'm making little squares. Okay, so our cheese is sliced up. Our hamburger meatballs are sliced up, and our sausages are sliced up. We are still, I believe, waiting on the water to boil for the lasagna, so we will be back when that is ready. Okay, as you can see, our water is boiling now for our lasagna noodles. So we're going to go ahead and put some in. Now I usually cook these for about 12 minutes. And if I'm lucky, I can get almost a whole box in at a time. And I try not to put the ones that are broken in. And I just kind of like alternate them as I'm putting them in, because it'll help keep them separated. So basically I'm changing directions as I'm putting the noodles in. So now we will let those cook for about 12 minutes, and we will take them out and show them to you. Okay, so it's been 12 minutes, so those set of noodles should be ready. So we're going to go ahead and take those out. Now, so the trick is to try to grab them without them falling apart. So you're going to be kind of gentle as you're grabbing them. And I usually try to, even though they're hot to handle, try to organize them a little bit to make it easier to put them on the lasagna. All right, so I believe we got all of that set. So we're gonna go ahead and put another set in. All right, and those are gonna have to cook again for another 12 minutes. We're gonna bring these noodles over here. We're gonna take you guys over to where we are putting it together. Now, depending on the noodle brand you buy, sometimes it'll fit the entire length of the pan, other times it won't. If it doesn't fit your entire length, you may have to use more than one noodle on each row. Right now I am just opening some cans of spaghetti sauce.
I noticed he's been online shopping for mountain bikes. He left his laptop open. Okay. I think it's a Christmas gift for me. Well, it's great. You look like him. Well, that's true, but why is he getting me a big gift and I'd be happy with the tiniest little... Remember? Christmas is the best time. Well, why don't you just talk to him? Tell him I want him to propose. I can't do that. No, just, I don't know, feel things out. See if you're both in the same headspace. I think he needs to. I've tried to bring it up with him, but it just changes the subject. Maybe he's just nervous. Maybe. I want to talk to Coletta, but at the same time, I need this to come from him. Right? Do you want me to talk to him? I mean, I'd be happy to. Would you? No, I don't have to put any pressure on him, right? No. Of course not. I'll just see what he's feeling.
Unfortunately, this one did not open right because the can's dented. So I'm going to try and save what was on the top.
Should we get back to it?
Yeah. Depends on the dentist.
Okay, let's talk about your company's strengths.
Yeah. Before we get started, we got off on a wrong foot the other day. The day before that. So, for the next 2 days or however long we're here, I slept.
I like that very much.
All right.
So, well, before you turn over, let's
So
decide.
that's a little too much sauce at once right there. So we're going to put some in a bowl.
That's right.
Candy cane cow in the world.
Oh, you remember. Right.
I'm sensing that.
So all you want for the spaghetti sauce is a nice thin layer on the bottom. So we'll show you what that is. So you just want a nice thin layer of sauce.
We should be talking about business.
Establishing rapport is the key to any successful business relationship.
Oops.
Fair enough. I was gonna say that I didn't spend Christmas Day at the airport.
On purpose.
All right, so now we're gonna start doing some of our layers.
Luggage carousels.
So we're gonna take a lasagna noodle.
Everything needs its own base.
One day. So, given your resistance to cutting costs in certain areas,
Have I been resistant?
So on the bottom, these are fitting fine. It's just gonna be towards the top.
another way to cut costs is to increase
And you wanna overlap them a little bit. So I usually wind up using 4 noodles per layer.
I hired a marketing firm when I first got here. We just get a clearer idea of where we stood.
Smart. So national survey, 85% recognize the very bright branding, so strong brand recognition.
Then we're gonna put another layer of spaghetti sauce.
And then candy to be produced.
But this you're just putting a thin brushing layer.
Do you guys have any other products in your line?
Am I?
So you wanna use your spoon and just kind of brush on a layer.
Told you I might have to give you one.
Deal.
Or you can pour a little bit in and then just use your spoon and spread it around some. You just want
Fiber bowls. They're a replica of the original.
a decent
candy
covering.
in 1837. So, inspiration for what we were
So again, we'll show you what that is.
Yeah. We started making them as a
So like that.
treat, specifically for the Christmas jubilee.
Well, what is that?
Once our big Christmas event here in town, going to be here for there's food and dancing, it really comes together. In fact, the Brightwell Christmas season kicks off tonight with the tree lighting.
Now I start with my cheese first. So what and I always start with the mozzarella first because that's the easy cheese to do.
It is.
So I'm gonna place a square and I'm gonna alternate it throughout the whole layer.
Translation, stubborn.
She knew what worked and she stuck with it.
Look, I consult for some of the biggest candy and chocolate companies in the country. And it all boils down to this. Mary Bright can no longer exist off of candy canes alone. With or without dogs.
Dave, of course I thought that's been compromised since I
All right. So
waiting.
that's what it looks like with the mozzarella cheese alternating. And what I'm gonna do now is put the ricotta cheese in the empty spots. Just a spoonful of ricotta cheese in each one.
Right. Especially since we have a dinosaur business model. Slow time bubble.
You overheard me.
Top of the brick wall.
I was frustrated. I didn't mean any of that. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I know we have to change.
Which one's that?
Is one option.
Chuck E. Cheese?
Alternative confections like chocolate.
Chocolate?
I'm just tossing out ideas. Let's explore an option together.
Can we show you something? Well, what do you think?
Wow. This reminds me of Santa's workshop. Or my favorite toy store in New York.
I like to come in here when I've had a rough day at work, you know? Reminds me of why I'm doing what I'm doing. I also like to end all the public tours in here.
You do tours?
Yeah, I do. My grandma Carol started to do them, and it's a tradition I like to keep alive.
That's her.
Yep.
It looks sweet. With a no-nonsense business side.
Wow. Tell a lot about her from the photo.
Very familiar with that type.
Not sure how she'd feel about Empire, though.
Well, I wish you approve. Please try to help.
You know, I got my MBA in California, and I was actually working with marketing in Sacramento. We won't call my grandma. It's honestly not what I thought I'd be doing.
So that's our first layer of cheese. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a piece of sausage on each mozzarella slice and a piece of meatball on each ricotta dollop.
Well, I have a lot of meetings this afternoon, so give me lots to think about. It's, here we go. See you later.
See you later.
So now this is what it looks like when you have your meat on the layer. Now the next step is we're going to cover this with a layer of lasagna noodles and repeat the same process until we get to the top. Usually about 3, sometimes 4 layers. But what I usually do is opposite. So I started with the lasagna noodles on this side, so I'm going to go on this side because it helps when you're trying to cut the slice of lasagna.
He's just not really what I thought a count would be like.
These you can push it down a little bit because you're going to push the meatballs a little bit into the ricotta cheese.
What's inside a Hallmark and Venmo?
Then,
You picked up whatever they
then we do our spaghetti sauce again.
securely add Venmo money to a card for them to redeem. Send money and a smile with a Hallmark and Venmo card. Buy one today.
hospital stays, emergency care, and more. You can keep the doctors you have now.
Alright, so we did get 4 layers with meat and cheese. This is now our top. We're going to put some sauce on there.
Humana, you get a competitive monthly premium and personalized service from a healthcare partner working to make healthcare simpler and easier for you. You can choose from a wide range of standardized plans. Each one is designed to work seamlessly with Medicare and help save you money. So how do you find the plan that's right for you? One that fits your needs and your budget. Call Humana now at the number on your screen for this free guide. It's just one of the ways that Humana is making healthcare simpler. And when you call, a knowledgeable licensed agent producer can answer any questions you have and help you choose the plan that's right for you.
And then we're going to put a strip of mozzarella cheese down two centers.
Cover all your medical costs. So call now.
If you have extra ricotta cheese, you can also put ricotta cheese. I usually do a line of that if I have extra, but I don't have extra this time.
We know how much you depend on the reliability of our products and services. Now, we've taken a new step forward in reliability. With our latest network technology, we can identify potential issues before they become a problem. If you're affected, we'll send you a notification. And if necessary, we can help you schedule a free service.
So that's what our top looks like now. We're going to cover that with tin foil and put it in the oven at 350 for at least a half hour, 45 minutes, maybe even an hour. You want the cheese to melt, but you also want it longer than the cheese to melt, because just because the top layer of the cheese is melted does not mean that the center is still hot. So you want to make sure you have a nice hot lasagna. And once it's ready out of the oven, we will show you what it looks like. Alright, so we've been cooking the lasagna in the oven about 375 for about an hour and a half. So it should be basically done. So we're going to go ahead and get ready to take it out. A little cheesy. We'll give you a sneak peek of how that looks. Then we'll dish some out.
Thank you, Santa. And let's go with that.
I'm gonna get a knife to make it easier. Maybe. Unfortunately, I use my good knife for actually making the lasagna, so I'm just like trying to cut a piece here because I'm trying to keep it whole, or as whole as I can. This is, for some reason, smaller than I usually make, so if we have to make the other one, we can, but I think there should still be enough for everybody for dinner. So it's coming out in 2 sections, at least for mine. I don't know why.
It just disappeared through the trees. Thursday, December 7th. Christmas tale of second chances. Abe and his dog is on the
And there we go.
Yeah, man. What are you doing, my friend?
If you like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe, please. We're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. And have a great night.